The noises of people walking back and forth, heels clicking on the tiled floor, baggage wheels rattling, and the occasional distant voice over the intercom filled the busy LAX airport. In an attempt to remain anonymous, Justin Bieber sat quietly in a corner. He had on a baseball cap pulled down over his face and a basic black hoodie. No one had come near, but a few had looked at him, their features fluttering with recognition. This was one of the few times that Justin wasn't encircled by fans' cries or the flashing lights of cameras. Of course, he cherished his supporters, but there were moments when he simply had to fit in. He was traveling today to Marietta Square for a charity concert that raised money for impoverished areas. He was stuck in the packed terminal since the airplane had been delayed for hours. Leaning back in his chair, Justin was mindlessly browsing through his phone when he noticed a dramatic change in the vibe in the room. An old black woman sat by herself by the window across the lounge. Her hands were busy knitting a bright yellow scarf, and her coat was worn but well pressed. Her composed manner didn't seem appropriate at the busy terminal. Justin grinned to himself, enjoying her presence's understated elegance. However, the silence was broken by the loud, cutting tones of voices that rose nearby. Seriously, why is she just sitting there taking up space? Justin's gaze quickly shifted to the disturbance's origin. A few steps from the woman stood a trio of passengers. They appeared to be heading to a networking event or company meeting because of their well-dressed business clothing. With an air of contempt in her voice, one of the women scoffed. After all, isn't a senior center for individuals like her? Why is she here at all? I bet she doesn't even know how to use the self-checking kiosks, slowing everyone down, the group's male member said with a laugh. The hands of the old woman froze. Justin could see the strain in her shoulders and the way her lips were pulled together, even though she didn't glance up. Something twisted inside Justin. He had already witnessed enough hate stories and headlines, and now it was happening again in front of him. Pulling his hoodie tightly over his head, he got to his feet. "Hey," he remarked as he walked up to the group, his tone steady but forceful. "That's enough." Startled, the three turned to face him. One of the women crossed her arms and said, "And who are you?" "Doesn't matter who I am," Justin said categorically. "You need to leave her alone." The group's male member arched an eyebrow. "Oh, great, another white knight," he replied in a sarcastic tone. Justin chose to ignore him. He looked across at the old woman. Gently, "Ma'am, are you okay?" he inquired. Her black eyes were filled with a silent grandeur as she gazed up at him. She answered, "I'm fine, son," although her voice was a little shaky. "I've dealt with worse." Justin's stomach constricted. That wasn't the purpose. Worse or not, she shouldn't have to put up with this. The businessman said, "Listen, man," and moved onward. "We didn't even exchange words with you. Why don't you take care of your own affairs?" Justin inhaled deeply, trying to maintain his composure. "When I witness someone being treated unfairly, it is my concern. You're doing something incorrectly." One of the women gave an eye roll. "Oh, please, we're not doing her any harm. These days people are quite sensitive." Justin was about to reply when he heard a voice behind him. "Is that Justin Bieber?" The terminal was filled with a murmur. As heads turned, some people took out their phones to capture the sight or take pictures. The businessman's face changed, showing a mixture of surprise and irritation. "Wait, are you serious?" Justin became aware that he was no longer anonymous. He wasn't discouraged, though. "Yeah, it's me, and I'm telling you to back off." Clearly not impressed, the man laughed. "Oh, so a pop singer is suddenly lecturing us about morality? Are you going to perform a little protest song for us next?" Justin's mouth clenched. He wanted to scream and lash out, but he knew it wasn't the solution. He turned back to the old woman instead. He said, "Ma'am, what's your name?" Despite the stress in the room, she answered, "Jennifer," in a firm voice. "Jennifer, would you mind if I played something for you?" She blinked, obviously surprised. As she responded, "Well, I suppose that would be all right." A tiny smile tugged at her lips. Justin took out his acoustic guitar from his carry-on bag. There was a murmur of expectancy from the throng, which had now increased considerably. He let the soft sound fill the air as he strummed a few chords. "There's a place where we all belong, no matter the color, no matter the song," he started singing. "Together we are more powerful and are constructing a future in which love will endure." As Justin's voice rose, the tension in the room subsided, and the room became quiet. Even the three who had made fun of Jennifer became surprised, their arrogant looks disappearing. "We've come so far, but there's still a way to break the chains of yesterday," Justin added, putting his all into the words. "Gaze into their eyes and witness the untold tale of bravery and a golden heart." The room erupted in cheers when he was done. Jennifer left her knitting on her lap and wiped a tear from her cheek. Her words were, "Thank you, young man. That was beautiful." Justin squatted next to her. "Jenny, you are stunning. I am inspired by your strength." Just as the cheering had subsided, one of the women in the group whispered, "This is ridiculous." Justin got to his feet, his eyes hardening. "It's absurd that people believe that treating someone in this manner is acceptable. Jennifer is fortunate to overlook your behavior, but it doesn't make it acceptable." The businessman scowled. Okay, you got your point across. Could we all please just go on now?" Justin gave a headshake. "No, simply moving on is insufficient. We should discuss this." He turned to face the assembled gathering. "This goes beyond Jennifer. It's about all the instances in which we witness such things and choose to remain silent. That's how it continues to occur." In the crowd, a young woman moved forward as her phone continued to record. Her words were, "He's right. We can't just keep ignoring stuff like this." Others started to say they agreed, one by one. A sense of solidarity replaced the unease that pervaded the terminal. The businessman and his friends looked at one another uneasily. As they left, one of the women murmured, "Let's just go," and grabbed her bag. The crowd gave a cheer. Justin's face softened as he looked back to Jennifer. "Ma'am, do you need anything? Water? Food?" She gave a headshake. "Son, you've accomplished more than enough, more than the majority would have." Still holding his instrument, he took a seat next to her. "Jennifer, can I ask you something?" She answered, "Of course," with loving eyes. "After everything you've experienced, what keeps you going? How do you maintain your strength?" Jennifer grinned, staring off into space as though she were reliving decades of memories. "Kindness," was all she said. "Like courage, kindness is a decision, Justin. I've been around long enough to witness both transform the world." For almost an hour, Jennifer and Justin spoke, alternating between her early years, the hardships she encountered throughout the civil rights movement, and the minor triumphs that gave her hope. Jennifer remarked, "I used to march with Dr. King, you know," with a hint of pride in her voice. "Really?" Leaning in with genuine attention, Justin asked. "Oh yes," she said in response. "We had faith in the cause we were fighting for, even if they were difficult times. I continue to believe in it." Deeply moved, Justin nodded. "Despite everything you've been through, you remain incredibly patient and kind. That is something I hope more people could see." Jennifer gave a little laugh. "Perhaps they will, though." "Justin, you don't realize how big your voice is. Make use of it." Justin assisted Jennifer in gathering her belongings as the time came to call their flight. He requested to take a photo with her before they boarded. He clarified, "I want people to know your story." Later that day, he shared the picture on the social media with the touching remark, "Today I met Jennifer, a woman who's lived through more history than most of us can imagine. She has shown strength and elegance in the face of hostility. Let's all make an effort to act more morally and like Jennifer. Love always prevails." Within hours, the post went global, igniting an internet uproar of optimism. Inspired by Justin's efforts, fans and followers shared their own tales of speaking up against injustice. That evening, Justin dedicated his performance at the charity event to Jennifer. He strung his guitar and remarked, "This is for all the Jennifers out there, for those who have gone before him and for those who are still battling." The crowd joined in as he sang, raising their voices in time. It served as a unifying moment and a reminder that even modest deeds of bravery might have a big impact. That evening, Justin walked off the stage with a fresh sense of direction. Fame was a platform and an opportunity to change the world, not simply about music or accolades. And he thought of Jennifer sitting in her peaceful corner of the airport, knitting a yellow scarf, while he gazed out at the applauding audience. He grinned. "This is for you, Jennifer." Join the discussion, question preconceived notions, and learn about bravery, transformation, and redemption by subscribing right now. By working together, We can build a society in which compassion overcomes discrimination.